It's a very soothing noise. I almost put myself to sleep doing that. Hi everyone, I'm Dan Giusti. I'm being challenged to prepare 3 delicious and affordable dishes using canned black beans. There are a lot of advantages of using canned black beans instead of, say, cooking them from dry. Cooking dry beans is not the most complicated thing, but you have to soak them. When you buy canned black beans, you have a product that's already cooked properly, so you get this like super creamy bean. When you talk about how much time and effort it takes to prepare a bean from dry, the value is still in the canned beans. All right, let's get going with our recipes. For breakfast, we will be making corn muffins with Chipotle-Glazed black beans. I need as much encouragement as possible to actually eat breakfast, so having something a little different in flavor definitely makes me more excited. We are using Jiffy corn muffin mix in a box. One thing to note, the standard Jiffy mix actually includes lard. They do sell a vegetarian version without the lard. I'm gonna go ahead and whisk the eggs together first. Fun fact about me, the first indication that maybe I would turn into a chef was that I would go around as a young child and tell people that I wanted to grow up to be a corn muffin. I don't know what that means, but I did want to be a corn muffin at one part in my life. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this in here. We'll add the milk. We don't want to like mix this too much. On the package it says that this mix is going to be lumpy. So I have a muffin tin. You could either butter the actual insides of the tin or put the like cupcake or muffin inserts inside, which we're going to do. It does say after the batter has been mixed to let it sit for 3 to 4 minutes for best results. I think we're approaching that period now. I'm going to use an ice cream scoop. Really, if you don't have an ice cream scoop, you can use anything to do this. You want to fill up the cups kind of like halfway. You might say, oh, you know, this is like from a package mix. It doesn't matter. Like nothing beats the taste and the smell of like a freshly baked good, especially in the morning. Our oven is preheated to 400 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and pop these in. They might take 15 minutes depending on your oven. Put a toothpick in, see if it comes out dry. While the corn muffins bake, we are going to glaze our black bean with honey and a little bit of the sauce from the can of the Chipotle peppers. I'm gonna go with honey to start. We don't need to cook it down much. The honey's obviously already very thick. I'm taking 2 tablespoons about of this sauce. If you really like spicy, go ahead and add a pepper. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on like medium heat. As soon as it heats up, the honey will get much more fluid. And once we start to see some very large bubbles, we know that we're kind of in this point where it's really gonna create a glaze. We do want that tight glaze so everything stays nice and contained. It smells like really good barbecue sauce. We're seeing big bubbles. When it starts to like kind of slowly drip, we know we're at that stage where this is getting extremely thick. So I'm just putting that to the side. We're starting with reduced sodium beans. Anytime that I can take away sodium or salt in a starting product, I'm gonna do it. If everything is not seasoned or less seasoned, it gives me a little more control over the dish. So I've drained this liquid off the beans, but we're gonna take it one step further and rinse these with cold water. So I'm gonna just make sure we're kind of shaking off any excess water here. Go right into here. And then not stirring, folding. So we're trying to just kind of coat the beans and that's it. These will now get put to the side. So our muffins are still baking and we have our Chipotle glazed black beans kind of cooling down to room temperature. There's one last component to our breakfast dish, and that is this kind of green condiment, if you will, for lack of a better term. So as a kid, I used to eat green peppers all the time as a snack. For me, the green pepper is perfect. It's super simple. We'll just take the top off the pepper here, take the bottom off, cut it like this, take the seeds out. Now we're gonna just chop this up pretty small. The beans themselves are pretty small, so we want something even a little smaller to go on top of that. It's like the old times, 7 years old, eating it like an apple, you know, one of those kids. Everybody else was eating like Lunchables. That's how you make friends, you know. Pepper's cut. We're gonna go ahead and add our chives now. That green flavor is an awesome contrast to this like deep, roasted, smoky flavor of the Chipotle and the sauce. So we're gonna add a bit of olive oil, a little salt, a bit of pepper, give it a quick stir. This little detail for me kind of makes the dish. It's gonna look nice from a color perspective. Now that our green condiment is ready to go, we're gonna go check on our muffins. All right, say what you wanna say about boxed muffin mixes. These look great. They've been out of the oven for a couple minutes. We want them to cool down just slightly. And I will say these are quite exceptional muffin tops we got going on here. So pull this away. We're just gonna cut to one portion. You wanna really kind of use the length of the blade. We're gonna put them on a tray with a rack. If you don't have a rack, that's fine. Put them about 4 to 5 inches under the broiler to just toast the tops, because why not? They're gonna be in there for just a couple minutes max. All right, our muffins are looking great. Getting a little bit of the crispy edges on the outside. We're gonna top it with our Chipotle-Glazed beans. I'm gonna put a little bit of the glaze itself just directly onto the corn muffin. It's gonna soak in there a little bit. Not too much though. This glaze is intense. It's sweet, it's also spicy. I'm plating this on this rack because inevitably some of these beans are gonna fall off while I'm plating and they'll just go on the rack. And then I will go ahead and move it to my serving plate. They just look so nice. Great contrast. You got this yellow corn muffin, these darker like glistening beans, and then this fresh green bright color on top. So you'll notice I'm only putting a very small amount of the green condiment. I don't think it needs too much, so hopefully it won't rot. They look great. Sometimes certain color contrasts just really pop, you know, and you see it and you're like, wow, this looks pretty cool. So really happy with this. Here we have 4 portions of delicious corn muffins with Chipotle glazed black beans for $8.81, coming to $2.20 a portion. This is a home run. I ate half the muffin in one bite. Give me a second. First of all, muffin's great. Happy I saturated that muffin with a little bit of the glaze from the beans. The pepper and chive condiment on top is essential for this. I have a little bit of heat in the back of my throat right now, but nothing that I'm like, oh man, this is super spicy. Utilizing the fact that you can get beans out of a can from the supermarket, rinse them, put this very simple glaze on them, and then all of a sudden you have this really cool breakfast. It's a winner. All right, it is time for lunch. We're gonna be making a black bean salad with a charred scallion vinaigrette. The black beans making up kind of the substance of the salad sounded like a winning lunch. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this red pepper. We are gonna keep these in large pieces. And I'm gonna use half an onion here. We're not gonna maybe keep them as big as the pepper. If you notice, I'm blinking a lot. It's just the onions getting to me. My eyes might start to look watery as well. It happens, you know? It's actually just been a sad day. I will cut my garlic. We'll use half jalapeno. Immediately after cutting a chili, you should wash your hands. If you get, you know, the oils from the chili in your eyes or in other sensitive areas, you're gonna have a bad night. We're taking the seeds out here. Seeds are really the spiciest part of the chili. Also this kind of the rib in the inside, very spicy. We'll keep that in. I'm gonna cut this up smaller. If you don't taste it, you really have no idea what you're getting into. This might not be spicy at all. Like, it's very spicy. It's actually extremely spicy. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go in with our onions and garlic first. Good amount of olive oil. Salt will start to draw out the moisture. This pepper is spicy. I'm just struggling over here. My eyes are watering. Nose is running. I'm a mess. I'm a disaster. Just gonna mix them around. So as this starts to cook, I'm gonna go ahead and drain and rinse the black beans. Our onions are starting to look a bit translucent now. I'm gonna go ahead and add the jalapenos next. Make sure this is cooked. It will take away from some of the heat. I'll let them cook for a minute or so and wash the hands quick. So jalapenos have softened, our onions are soft, garlic's soft. I'm gonna add our red peppers. We're just gonna soften these a bit. Beautiful looking mix. We're also gonna set this aside, and as they're kind of still warm, they can soften a little bit more. So we've got scallions here. I have a tray with a rack. I'm just gonna take a small amount of oil, just to the point where I can just see that these are glistening. So we wanna add another layer of flavor there, and that's gonna come through the charring on our scallions here. So I'm just alternating these so they fit nicely on here. We're gonna go ahead and pop this in the broiler, like 3 to 4 inches from the heat. You should just stand there and watch it. And we're gonna take this to the point where it gets pretty charred. Could take like 2 to 3 minutes. It could even happen in less time. Scallions are looking good. The top's starting to get real charred. These will kind of break at this point. That's fine. We're okay with that. But it still has a little bit of body to it. That's why we didn't flip these. We have them all in one direction. We're gonna go ahead and chop all of these up. And you might say, oh, all this stuff here at the end is burnt. If you think that's a little too much, then don't put it all in. It's up to you how you want to do it. Or broil the scallions less. So I'm gonna put these little root ends in the trash. We're gonna put our broiled scallions in a bowl. This is sherry vinegar, basically 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar situation. So I'm gonna season this and a little bit of pepper. And we're gonna mix this around. It's just something that would be nice to make ahead of time. You don't have to let it sit forever, but I think it does benefit from a little bit of time. I'm gonna give it a taste just for seasoning. It's delicious. I love this. Vinaigrette is now ready. So now we need to cut some of the fresh vegetables and we will be ready to assemble our salad. We're gonna be using 1/4 of an avocado per salad. Cut our avocado into 2 nice slices. I'm gonna put them on a tray here. We're gonna go ahead and cut our tomatoes in half and then cut it into quarters. I'm just putting them on here because I'm gonna season them first. Nice thing about using kosher salt, not only can you feel it between your fingers when you're seasoning, you can literally see where it's going on whatever you're seasoning. So our vegetables are seasoned. First step will be to take our rinsed and drained beans, incorporate them into our vegetables that are now at room temperature. We really want to maintain the integrity of the bean, so we're gonna fold here, not like stirring and mixing. Before we go ahead and plate, I just want to give this a quick taste. Definitely needs a little salt. Woo! That jalapeno is the gift that keeps on giving, I'll tell you what. I like it though. It's not too much, but you taste it. Time to plate our salad. We get a couple spoons of our beans. Keep putting it in the middle. Take our vegetables. We finish it off with a very generous amount of our vinaigrette. For me, the star of the dish. So here we are, a delicious and beautiful looking black bean salad with charred scallion vinaigrette coming out to $10.90 for 4 portions, and that is $2.73 for 1. It's time to taste our black bean salad. It looks awesome. Between the avocado and the beans particularly, it's like this kind of smooth creaminess. Get a piece of the refreshing tomato. The vinaigrette is just like zing, like it's like in your face, you taste the char, but it's really not overpowering. So the prep for this was super simple, but it makes for a very hearty lunch that's extremely satisfying and delicious. All right, it is time for the final meal of the day, which is dinner. I'm going to be preparing black bean stew with smoked turkey wing. I think smoked turkey wing is a very kind of underutilized product that you can find at most supermarkets. It's relatively affordable. So technically this is a ready-to-eat product. That being said, I think it benefits with some further cooking to make it a little more tender. All right, so to build the stew, we're gonna start with our vegetables. Go ahead and cut the carrot, keeping these pretty large at about quarters. The idea usually would be to cut all of the aromatics to a similar size. Onions, celery, and carrots, particularly a pretty traditional basis to a lot of different dishes. It's referred to as mirepoix in classic French cuisine. Typically the ratios you see for this are 2 parts onion to 1 part celery and 1 part carrot. You can do as you please. I'll cut my onion and then we are like off to the races here. Slice the garlic. This is a pretty good amount of vegetables to the amount of beans that we're gonna be using. We're gonna go with olive oil, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put all of our vegetables in here. I'm gonna turn it on like a medium heat. Now we are not roasting these vegetables, we just want to soften them and sweat them. So we are gonna add a bit of salt straight from the beginning to promote that. Pepper. This is a 1-pot meal. Everything's gonna go in here. We're gonna cook it for about 45 minutes, and then the food's ready to go. So now we hear our things sizzling. We'll stir them up, turn the heat down a little bit, get the rest of this oil in here. So we'll get our chipotle pepper, 1 pepper, unless you want something super spicy. So I'm gonna cut it, and then after handling it, wash my hands. It is spicy, but it does have a deeper flavor to it. It has been dried and smoked. There's a lot going on here. So our vegetables have softened a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and add the chipotle pepper as well as a very small amount of tomato paste, and we're gonna continue to toast or roast these items. You can smell flavor developing right now. Like that tomato paste and the chili is like roasting in the oil that's in here, which is very good. So now that our vegetables have softened, our tomato paste is roasted, our chili is roasted, I want to add the water first. Our recipe calls for 3 cups of water. You might end up using less, depends on how you like your stew, a little more liquidy, a little less liquidy. But we're starting with 3 cups. Err on the lesser side, you can always add a little bit more water if you would like to. So our beans have been drained and rinsed already. I'm gonna go ahead and add them in, gently stir them. I'll turn the heat on high, we'll bring it up to a simmer. And once it gets to a simmer, we'll turn the heat down. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the turkey wing in just like this. So a lot of the flavor is gonna come out of this turkey wing, both because it is a piece of meat, but it's also been seasoned and it's also been smoked. So I'm not in a hurry to season this right now. So we're gonna cook this now in the stew, and our turkey wing will start to break apart a little bit. So I'm gonna put the lid on, and we just want this to kind of low simmer for about 45 minutes. All right, cool. So we're about 40 minutes into this stew, simmering at a pretty low pace here. So you can see straight away the color of the stew, much darker. The edges on the vegetables have softened, therefore it's an indicator that they are cooked. The meat, you could see starting to split in certain places, also darker in color. Generally, the stew is much thicker. It smells like super rich. So I'm gonna give it a taste. Love it. We're gonna go ahead and take our turkey wing out. Our stew, we'll keep it warm, but we don't need it to be simmering hot. So we're gonna just keep it here. I'll put the lid on it. We'll let our turkey wing cool down a bit, and then we're gonna break the meat down. Many of you are familiar with the chicken wings, so it's the same kind of breakdown here. We're gonna just cut it at the joint. Start with what is like the drumette. I'm just gonna take off what are big chunks of meat from this thing. Little parts like the feathers. Like, we're gonna take those out. Anything that's like a big chunk of meat, we're gonna keep it large. The skin, it's a lot thicker. For me, if it's cut into kind of smaller pieces, I enjoy it in here. I'm not throwing anything away. All the meat on here is delicious. I mean, if you feel like in your hands it's something that you can't even like pull off or squeeze between your fingers, it's probably something you don't want to put in here. Cartilage. If you're unsure where the joint is, just kind of open it up like this. You can now see where to cut with the joint. Your hands probably are a little more useful than the knife. But because we've cooked it and it's tender, the whole thing just kind of comes apart anyway. So we got our meat off the wing. Our stew is ready to go. We have a little sour cream and a little cilantro to finish off the dish. Cut right through the leaves and stems, just enough for our one portion here. Many people actually don't like cilantro, then don't put it in the dish. So we're gonna go ahead and plate. So I love the color of this dark, deep brown color, almost coffee color. Our stew's hot enough to kind of help warm the meat through as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 dollop of sour cream to this. So there is a good amount of spice, even though we just added 1 chipotle pepper to this. So it does cool things down a bit. And then we're just gonna kind of add some cilantro in here. So there you have it, this wonderful serving of black bean stew with smoked turkey wing for $11.73 for the 4 portions, coming out to $2.93 per portion. I've been excited to taste this one. Mix in the sour cream a little bit. The turkey wing has given this stew so much flavor. I get this like light smokiness. It's not like overpowering. I'm gonna get a little bit of the meat here. So the meat is super tender, super juicy. It's just delicious. It's an underutilized and underappreciated piece of meat. So today we used canned black beans to make 3 delicious and affordable dishes: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Canned black beans are an extremely versatile and affordable ingredient. Just with a little creativity, you can transform them into a variety of delicious and satisfying dishes.